Mr. Dean Ambrose. How are you?
I can't complain, man. What's happening?
Former member of the Shield, former United States champion, and former Cowboy of the Dallas Cowboys. That part's not true.
No, not at all. I didn't know where you were going with that, but
was there a moment where you were like, "Was I in the NFL?"
No. Well, I was a Cowboy for Halloween.
Were you really this year?
Yeah.
Oh,
not a Dallas Cowboy.
What kind of cowboy?
Just a like a regular cowboy, but like a dead cowboy.
Oh, like a zombie cowboy?
No, not a zombie cowboy. I mean, who does zombies? Zombies is so generic, you know. It was more like a bad night at the OK Corral. Some stuff had gone down. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a story behind it.
Big guy named Mongo comes in, breaks a bottle over your head.
Yeah, it could have been anything, you know. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit too much sarsaparilla, you know.
Halloween. What was it? Like last week on SmackDown, on the Halloween night that aired, you wrestled in a ring full of pumpkins. Like,
yeah, that was the first.
Is that that's the first time there was gourds involved in your match?
Yeah, it's the first that I can remember. There may have been, but definitely the first one I can remember. Definitely the first one in WWE for sure.
Well, let's talk about things that you can remember. You think you've been knocked out before? Is that why you can't remember things, or just you've been wrestling so long every kind of thing blurs together?
No, you know what? I've never really had any problems with that. But you know, there's just so many matches and so many opponents and so many crazy things and injuries and stuff that hurts and just crazy items you get hit with that you forget. You know, you probably name something. Somebody's probably hit me in the head with it. So
defibrillator.
Probably, yeah.
My grandmother's Depends.
No.
Not specifically.
I don't remember. I have been to Albany a few times, but I don't remember meeting your grandmother.
My grandma, she just throws them all over the place. Like you can't walk out of the studio without stepping in something that my grandmother pooped in.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's a family thing. What? Let's talk about something insane here. Like the other week, Hell in a Cell. You in a cell match with Seth Rollins, but you start on top of the cage.
Yeah.
Like very few people have been on top of that cage, and you're one of them. What goes through your mind the second you step up there?
It's really high, man, and it's higher than the original. The original Hell in a Cell was about half that height. I think we fell off. Somewhere about halfway down there,
and that's still really high up.
I think like the height we fell off of from talking to the techie guys who built it all.
3,000 feet.
I think it was like I think where we fell off was essentially the same distance as the original Hell in a Cell, but it's so high. And I think they tried to prevent. My theory is, it's to prevent people from attempting to jump off of it or throw people off of it. It's why it's so high now. But it's just such a ridiculously high structure. But, I don't like to think inside the box, and I don't like people to be able to know, and I don't like to have a formula or a paint by numbers kind of thing. I don't like people to know what I'm going to do. I like people to know that, when I'm performing, anything could happen at any moment. You get a...
Yeah, you've kind of gone like loose cannon style. Yeah, I mean, you're unique,
because wrestling can be so predictable, and everybody falls into. You're watching 3 hours of Raw. You don't want to see the same thing. I don't like people to be able to predict what's going to happen next. I like people to know that at any moment I could just get disqualified and hit a guy with a chair, or I could do something different, or they might see some wrestling, they might see some flying, they might see anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's something like you.
Yeah, why wouldn't I start a match on
You've
top
done
of the
that.
cage? Why not? Somebody needs to go up there. People want to see somebody go up there. Why waste time? Let's just go. Why wait 15 minutes? If I'm going to go up there, well, somebody's going to go off that thing. We're going off right now, so let's just go. So
let's get to the good stuff.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think anybody would have been like, oh, they're going to start on top of the cage. So if that's probably the thing people least expect, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's like
it's too tempting to not climb up that thing. How do you come out and not climb up to the top of it?
Well, they put footholds right on the side, begging for it.
Not to climb that thing,
Mm-hmm. in your erratic behavior and stuff like that, it's kind of like skyrocketed you into the position you are right now. I mean, obviously, when you guys debuted as a unit in the Shield a couple years ago, you've always been like in the spotlight, but only recently as like a solo act has kind of been put into one of the top positions now. With that comes a lot more like recognize. What's the word I'm looking for? People are recognizing you more. You've kind of grown a little bit more fame. How are you dealing with that? Like on the outside of the locker room, when you're on the road, people recognizing who you are. And here's an example. Right before we got on the mic, Board Op Dan came in here and for some reason was taking his shirt off and showing you his undershirt. It was very weird.
Yeah, I think he was trying to.
He had a Detroit.
I think he was trying to. I think he must be under the impression that I'm a Flyers fan, which I am. But I think he was thinking that if he showed me his Detroit Red Wings shirt, I would assume he was some kind of an enemy and attack him.
And you didn't. You restrained.
No, because if I attacked everybody that had a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt or a.
You'd get tired.
Yeah, or a Detroit
it's exhausting.
And I'm like, I'm not that big of a sports fan that I really, care anyway. You know what I mean? Well, the guy earlier had a Steelers tattoo, and he's like, "You're from Cincinnati. You probably hate me because I'm a Steelers fan." I'm like, "No, not really. I don't care that much." You know,
I don't even know you. Why would I hate you?
I don't have time to really watch football. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Well, what are some examples of like a weird, terrible interaction with a fan, and then like an example of like an awesome interaction with a fan?
There's a lot. I mean, like, to answer your question, I don't get it nearly as bad as a lot of people.
You float by?
Yeah, because I'm not super famous as a lot of the guys are. I wouldn't even consider myself famous. I'm well known in my field, I guess you could say. But if I'm
humble way.
If you're in a room full of wrestling fans, you're like the biggest deal in the world. But if you're at just a restaurant where there's no wrestling fans, you're just you're one of the wrestlers from TV. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, I mean, if you keep it in perspective like that, and like when you're in the arena, you're like this huge mega star guy, and then you go 2 miles down the street to the 7-Eleven, and you're just standing in line.
You're the guy buying the 5 hour.
Yeah. And I can float by because I'm very nondescript. I'm not super huge. I don't have any super defining features. I can just I'm sure there's a lot of people that, are wrestling fans and know who Dean Ambrose is, but have been standing in line right next to me at a gas station or something and probably had no idea they were standing next to me. So, I don't get it too bad. But, there are a lot of weirdos out there. There's a lot of crazy chicks, man. There's a lot of crazy women.
They're just ready to dive right into it. They want to be a part of your life.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There's everywhere, and
we talked about my grandmother.
They can
get
a little. Yeah, she might be in my demographic. She might be in Roman Reigns' demographic. I don't know, but there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of. I don't like people. I don't like when people I'll always have time for kids or fans or people I see, especially, if they got like my shirt or something on, and it's a big deal to them to say hello. I have all the time in the world for real fans, especially kids. There's a lot of really crappy, eBay collector people out there that'll stalk you in airports and stuff like that. But, so they kind of ruin it for, kids and real fans and stuff, because they'll be, they'll be hunting you down when you're trying to get your rental car or whatever, because they want you to sign a stack of 50 things because they want to sell it or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I understand the hustle, making a buck, but I can't.
But you're busy. Yeah, you can't be bothered with that.
Yeah, well, it's like, dude, or they'll use kids as bait because, a guy will run up with a kid and be like, hey, can you get a picture with my kid? You sign with my kid?
Can you sign my kid? I want to sell him.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, no problem. So I stop because I see the kid, and then the kid clearly has no interest, but he's got a stack of 40 things and 4 figures he wants you to sign. And I'm like, Dude, you pulled your kid out of school to use him as bait to get me to come over here and sign
No
your stuff?
kid has an action figure still in the case.
Yeah, exactly. You take those things out, you know.
What's the point? You're supposed to play with them.
I played with it.
Throw them off your Hell in the Cell.
I never understood that either, you know.
Let's go back to the crazy chicks. Well, screw it. Let's.
Well, positive fan interactions, you know, it's like, it's a little weird for me being in a position where a lot of people, because you know, so much more exposure and the ability to have so many more fans in WWE because, you know, it's so far reaching, you know, fans in countries you've never even been to, you know, so it's getting, and it's cool too because people go back and they become a fan of you and then they go back and look at your old stuff too and they go, I just was watching something you did 10 years ago and it was awesome, you know, that's cool too, you know, because you expose, you know, some old stuff you're proud of, you know, gets sought out by newer fans too, so that, you know, that's fun to hear, and you know, just but you know, positive. It's a little weird for me because I was always like enjoyed being the most hated person, and you know, used like that negativity, and you use that as fuel, and like I want to go out there and just make everybody just despise me, you know, and I want to, you know, tell fans to piss off out, you know, because I want them to hate me, you know. So, but you know, being in this position now, you know, it's cool, you know, to, you know, it's people stand in line 3 hours, you know, because they just want to say hello to you or tell you something that you know. It's
wild, yeah.
Yeah, or like, hey,
like, for me, you want to see
you're
me?
My favorite thing, and you know, I broke my leg and was stuck at home, and I watched all your stuff for hours at a time, and that's, you know, watching wrestling, you know, pass the time when I heal my leg or whatever it is, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, it's, you know, I have all the time in the world for people like that, you know, I like, you know, I find that, you know, because I'm only in the position I'm in because of people like that dug what I do, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I do, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, then whatever. You know, I can only, you know, I can't try to be something I'm not or anything when I go out there, and I'm just doing my thing. And the people that do get with me, and you know, they're the reason that I'm able to maintain, you know, whatever foothold I have, you know, and continue to move forward. So, you know, it's a 50-50 thing, you know what I mean? They put me here, so, you know, I have, you know, all the time in the world for, you know, for real fans like that, you know, so I'll stand and sign autographs, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
well, it sounds like you still love it, and I'm glad you're still getting something positive out of it. Dean Ambrose, I think that's all the time we really got. I could sit in here and talk to you all day, but tonight, SmackDown, Times Union. I think doors open at 7, maybe even 6. I don't know. Line up right now. Let's line up right now.
Yeah, get there right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be clashing with Bray Wyatt tonight, and that is a promise and a threat.
Oh, he's gonna do that little back arch thing.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know what that is, but it can't faze me. But I just for the people in Albany tonight, I will. Backwards. Me and Bray Wyatt will square down. It will be a showdown between two very unorthodox gunslingers, and you know, we will clash, and it's going to happen tonight in Albany, and you don't want to miss it, because you know, one of us might not make it out of Albany, you know, and it might be too ugly for TV. It might not air on Friday Night SmackDown, so you want to make sure you're there live to make sure you were there the night Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose clash in Albany.
All right, Dean, thanks a lot. It's Q103.